Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 10th, and today I listened to Body Talk by Robyn. Covering this album might seem kind of random. Robyn is a singer-songwriter from Sweden. She makes a lot of dance pop type of stuff. But I have heard so many good things about her music, and this album in particular, that I wanted to check it out. This album is kind of interesting because it was released in the end of 2010, and earlier in the year, she had released two mini albums, I guess, shorter albums called Body Talk Part 1 and Body Talk Part 2. And this apparently takes some highlights from both of those albums and adds a few more new songs. It's kind of like a greatest hits album, but not really. My first impression of Body Talk was a connection with another artist. I don't know that much from Carly Rae Jepsen, but some of the songs I have heard from her, like Run Away With Me or Cut to the Feeling, I could hear those types of songs in Body Talk. And I looked it up, and yes, Carly Rae Jepsen sees Robyn as a huge inspiration. And the fact that there were multiple songs on Body Talk that had the same energy as Run Away With Me, I think is a very good thing, because I think that song is top tier pop music. But getting back to this album specifically, there was one song from it that has been cited as one of the best songs of 2010, one of the best songs of the entire 2010s decade, and even one of the best pop songs of all time, Dancing on My Own, which also happens to be my favorite song from Body Talk. Dancing on My Own is about the narrator seeing her ex out in public, and she can see that they have moved on and found somebody new and that they're happy without her. So it's a very sad situation, but the actual music itself is not really sad. It's bright, it's peppy, it's like Europop. This creates kind of an interesting juxtaposition, and that really comes through when you compare it to the Callum Scott cover, which might even be more popular than the original at this point. The original Robyn version, much like a lot of other songs on this album, it really knew how to create a sense of movement. It kept things pushing forward with its production. The Callum Scott cover is a lot more stripped down. It's just a piano. And because of that, even though it's pretty much the same tempo, it feels a lot slower. It's the same melody, the same tempo, the same lyrics, but just changing the backing music completely alters the tone of the song. Callum Scott's version is very sad and wistful, but the original by Robyn is very bittersweet. If Callum is at the depression stage of grief, Robyn is at the acceptance stage, but that doesn't mean she's moved on. I've heard some people say that removing that juxtaposition is missing the point of the song. I wouldn't really go that far, but I do think that contrast makes the original a lot more interesting to me. Dancing on My Own really is something special, and it's absolutely the highlight of this album. That being said, most of the songs on Body Talk sound great. Looking at the track list, you also got Indestructible, Time Machine, Hang With Me, Get Myself Together, In My Eyes. These are all really strong songs. Then we got the question of, were there any songs on this album that I didn't like? Yeah, there were. Dancehall Queen I thought was pretty weak. Don't Tell Me What to Do I thought was really gimmicky and repetitive. And while I love the way Call Your Girlfriend sounds, the lyrics are just confusing to me. Someone who is presumably the other woman giving this man detailed instructions on how to let his current girlfriend down gently is so bizarre. I don't even know what to make of it. I don't know if it's toxic or manipulative, but it is really weird. However, I will say that You Should Know Better was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. The lyrics, they're not my favorite, but it sounds great. And with the question of, does this album hold up? I think it absolutely does. It's not the most consistent, but it does have some of my favorite songs I've listened to this entire month so far. I would say check it out if you're interested. Thank you for listening.